If you were to ask, is there one thing inside Google Ads that if I make sure I have in place successfully, am I guaranteed to see success in my campaign? And I'd say the most likely answer to that question is specificity, or even you could say relevancy. And what do I mean by, specificity or relevancy? If we just look at a campaign like this, for example, what you don't want to do is have a campaign where you just stick a massive list of keywords into and you just try and write ads that are relevant to all those keywords. What you want to do is split those keywords up into as many ad groups as possible. Because if you're able to write ad copy and landing pages that match up exactly with what the person is searching for, then you're way more likely to earn the click and conversion over one of your competitors that has a more generic ad. Because the person on the other end is going to choose the company that they think is most likely able to solve their problem. And that's based on how specific or relevant your messaging is to what the person is searching for. And just to show you some really brief examples of what I mean. So inside this roofing campaign, for example, you'd expect, fascia and soffit to be a very particular part of the overall roofing system. But instead of just having a fascia and soffit based ad group, we instead have, a general fascia and soffit based ad group with just fascia and soffit keywords. One that mentioned installation or fitting. So for those that are looking for installation, have a separate one for those looking for repair of it, and then others that are looking for replacement of it. So you can see here, for example, the keywords in this ad group are all repair specific, even under fascia and soffit. So it's not just general roofing repairs, it's just specifically fascia and soffit repairs. So all of these keywords are highly related, and that's what you want every ad group inside your campaign to look like. You want everything to be as related to each other as possible. And before, what we used to do is we had all of our, for example, fascia and soffit related ad groups together. So anything that mentioned either fascia or soffit, we stuck it all together in one massive ad group. And that actually worked quite well before. But what we've noticed, and a trend that we'll probably see happening over the next few years with AI emerging a lot, is that people's searches inside Google are getting a lot more specific. So, for example, they might have just, usually typed the generic fascia and software related keywords before. And this is just a really specific example. This can apply to any industry. They could have even, typed in just plumbing near me, for example. But now instead of, just having all your keywords for that service in one ad group, if somebody's searching, for example, plumbing repair, then you could have a repair based ad group under plumbing, even though, you just think it's the same service. And that's what we used to do in this case. You could have a generic, fascia and soffit based ad group with, all of the keywords thrown in there and somewhat relevant ads. But people's searches are getting more specific, especially with the likes of ChatGPT, where people are putting in much longer prompts and getting much more detailed answers. And people are also seeing that with Google, that if they put in more detailed searches, that they'll get more specific and relevant answers to what they're searching for as well. So if we're able to put an ad in front of the person that is more relevant to what they're searching for, then they're more likely to click and convert on our ad. So that's why we have these ad groups split up, and you want to just split your keywords up into as many ad groups as possible. Now, obviously, if you're extremely limited on budget, then you don't want to have a crazy amount of ad groups, but as many as makes sense for the budget that you're using, so that you're able to actually collect data on your ad groups, because you don't want to have ad groups that you can only afford to get 1 or 2 clicks per month. But just to show you an example, just to kind of drive the point home, you can see here that all of these keywords are highly related to each other. They're all installation or fitting related. So someone that's actually looking to get this part of the roof installed rather than repaired or replaced, or just searching for the generic search term in general. And because we have these keywords segmented in this way into so many different ad groups, we're able to write ads that are so much more relevant to what the person is searching for than any of their competitors, because the ad copy now is going to match up exactly with the intent. And now these are actually call ads, so I'm not going to show you the full ad itself just because the company's phone number is displayed. But you can see here that you have two headlines and two descriptions, and we have much more relevant ads for these installation or fitting related keywords because they mention that aspect of the service specifically. So it's not generic, it matches up exactly with what the person is searching for. And you can just imagine if somebody's typing fascia and soffit installation into Google, and then they say, the most trusted fascia and soffit installation, or call us for all your fascia and soffit installation needs, they know that this company does exactly what they're searching for. And that's exactly what we want to do with our ads by splitting up our keywords into more ad groups. And not only does it make more sense just because the customer is going to feel more likely that they're in the right place with your ad, you're also going to get rewarded by Google for this as well. Because Google as a platform know that they only get paid each time somebody clicks on your ad, and where you get ranked on the page when somebody goes to search for one of your keywords all depends on how likely Google think you are to get the click over any of your competitors. And splitting up your keywords into separate ad groups with more relevant ad copy in each ad group is going to massively increase your expected click-through rate and also improve your ad relevance, which are the two most important aspects in determining your quality score. And your quality score as well is going to have a major impact on your overall cost per click. So that means you're just able to get more clicks for the same budget. And obviously, the more clicks you're able to get for the budget that you have, the more likely you are to get conversions. And you obviously want to get as many conversions as possible each month. And not only does it matter having your keywords and ad copy all lined up, you also want to make sure that you have this the same with your landing pages as well. And you might be wondering, like, it must be so much work having to separate all your ad groups also into separate landing pages rather than, just directing all the traffic to the one page. And it doesn't necessarily always have to be that much extra work because as long as you have the headline part highly relevant in each case, then most of the text on the rest of the page can remain the same in each case because the benefits of why they would choose you, things like your offer and phone number, call to actions, testimonials, and so on, most of those things can remain the same thing in each case. So a lot of the time you can just duplicate your landing page. But as long as you have a headline that's highly relevant to the service in question, like it is in this case, then making sure your headline is highly aligned with the keywords and ad copy of that ad group is the main determining factor in having a highly relevant landing page. And this is going to boost your landing page experience as well, which is the third aspect that goes into determining your overall quality score. And you'll be rewarded by Google more often for this as well by having your ads shown more often above your competitors for the same searches and not necessarily paying a higher cost per click for those searches as well. So if you just have a simple process of making sure that your keywords, ad copy, and landing pages are all highly in alignment with one another, then you shouldn't have any issues getting leads and having a decent conversion rate overall inside your campaign. Because if somebody is searching for something as specific as patient software installation, for example, then they see an ad that matches exactly with what they search for, and they see that in their headline, and then they click on their ad, and what they clicked on in the first place brings them to a page that matches exactly with what they search for, and there's clear call to actions right at the top of the page where they can call directly or fill out a form, then you're just giving them a really seamless process to convert from, an impression to a click to a lead. And that's what we want to do with Google Ads is, make the process as simple as possible to convert that person from a click into a lead. So what you want to do at the very beginning when you're first creating your campaign is using Google's keyword planner and making a big list of the keywords that you're going to target. You want to make a big list of keywords first of all, but then split those keywords into as many columns as possible based on intent. And look at each column and decide, are all of the keywords, highly relevant to one another in this ad group? And if you feel like there's any keywords that would actually perform better if they had different ad copy, because you'd be able to write more relevant ads for those keywords, then that's when you want to split those keywords into separate ad groups. And once you have your keywords created and split into separate ad groups, then the process of creating your ad copy is actually quite simple because you know now exactly what you want to include in your headlines and descriptions to make sure that your ads are as relevant as possible. And just to show you an example, so we had, a lot of roof cleaning keywords before, but we noticed that a lot of those were roof moss removal specifically. And we thought if we put the roof moss removal keywords into a separate ad group from general roof cleaning, then it might perform a lot better because we're able to write more relevant ads for those keywords. And so that's what we did. And when we had roof moss removal specifically keywords inside one ad group, then it's pretty simple to write ads that are relevant to that service because we know that that's exactly what we need to include in our headlines and descriptions. And as mentioned already as well, the landing page then is also simple to create. So what you can do at the beginning is make one landing page template that you're going to use for all of your ad groups that include all the core fundamentals and make sure that your conversion tracking is set up correctly on that one landing page. And then you can duplicate that landing page for every one of your ad groups and you can just change around the headline in each case to make it specific and relevant to that ad group. And you can also include more keyword focus as you go down further the page as well, especially if you have a more detailed landing page. So as you can tell from this video so far, when it comes to specificity and relevancy, it's really about just giving the person on the other end exactly what they want by giving them ads and landing pages that match up exactly with what they search for. And another way of doing this as well as a service-based business that works really well, instead of just splitting up your ad groups at the service level, you can also do so by location as well. So if you're targeting a large state or city, for example, and that city or state has multiple, suburbs within that have, decent sized populations. So if you're targeting a state that has, 5 or 6 or 7 main suburbs that will be getting a lot of searches. So for example, in this case, it was for a roofing campaign based in Manchester. There's quite a few areas within the greater Manchester area that has a lot of, location based searches. So for example, in this case, you might have roofer in Oldham, roofer in Rochdale, roofer in Salford. And instead of just having, all these based in a roofer in Manchester ad group, which is somewhat relevant, you can actually have location specific ad groups as well, which we have found perform really well. Because if somebody's searching for, a roofer or a plumber or a landscaper or anything like that in a specific area, and they see that specific area mentioned in the ad copy in the landing page, then they're more likely to convert because they're going to feel even more so that they're in the right place because this company covers my specific area. They don't just cover like, the entire state, but they also work in my specific area. So they feel even more confident that, you can solve their problem because you're local to them. And that's just something that works really well for local service-based businesses, especially. Now, I hope this video helps when it comes to making and structuring your campaigns so that you're able to make much more high-performing ads and landing pages than what you had previously by making them a lot more specific and relevant to what the person is searching for. And now, if you do have any questions about anything we went through in this video or anything else related to Google Ads in general, feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you do like this Google Ads related content as well, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel as we'll be posting all things related to Google Ads daily. And hopefully we'll see you in the next video.